I'm gonna come at you fast with these.
Whoa, pause.
Uh, I'm gonna give you some movie titles that have been abbreviated. You gotta try and guess what they are. Some are
Okay.
hard, some are difficult. Play along at home if you want. You know.
Okay. So like you'll
So
give me. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I got
first
this.
one, pretty easy. SPVTW.
VTW.
Yeah.
Oh shit, this is a lot harder than I thought. Oh, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Huh?
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Correct.
was the V threw me off. It was the V.
Yeah. Sorry. 2JS.
Like the number two.
Yes.
2JS. How many films start with the letter number two? Two, two. Bro, this is harder than I thought it was gonna be. 2JS. Can I get a
I
hint?
give you a hint. Okay. Um, what's his name?
2JS.
Hold on.
2JS.
Jonah Hill's in it. Another hint.
It's fucking
This
21
will
Jump
probably.
Street. It's 21 Jump
It
Street.
is correct.
Oh my god, I'm slacking.
This
Oh.
one might be quite hard actually.
Oh my god, those were the hard.
This one's gonna be
Okay.
very hard. MPATHG.
Yeah. One more time.
MPATHG.
Yeah. MP. MPATHG.
HG. Yes.
So something and the right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Something and the G.
HG.
Oh, HG. Something and the. So is it a name? MP?
MP is a name, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
think it's a
the.
name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's a name.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And the. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So
well, it's a name of a comedy group, I'll say. The
and.
film is from 1975. That's the.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah,
There we
correct.
go. There we go. I could just see your Jujutsu Kaisen on the bed behind you.
Yeah.
Just is that my brother Todo? Just like
Yeah.
nice. Alright.
Alright, next
So
one is
I'm yeah.
WWDITS.
TS. Cool. I'm just writing down the initials.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. WWDITS.
What we do in the shadows?
Correct.
Come on, I love that film. What are we? Werewolves, not swearwolves.
TPOBAW.
Whoa. Say one more time.
TPOBAW.
T A W. TPOBAW.
Yeah.
Temper of and no.
I'll give you a clue. The A
The
is one letter. It's just
okay.
a single letter. So A.
Okay. The a TPOBAW. TP a a wish a wand a I'm trying to like reverse engineer this bitch.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it a film I've seen?
Yeah.
A The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yep. Correct.
Oh, what an edgy teen film. What angst?
Um. TA colon WP. Am I saying that right? Colon.
Like the two dots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
TAWP.
Yeah.
Okay. Johnson. I'm trying to like do it in a Taylor voice.
Yeah.
Is it a name? The
Um.
the
The
something?
no, but the A is you could class it as a name. Yeah, it's a name of a place.
The weapon. Weapon. The weapon.
I can give you a pretty big clue if you want.
Can you give me a smaller one?
A smaller clue. Let me have a look. See, it's a smaller clue. I just had it up. What the fuck? Where'd it go?
The wallflower perks.
Okay, it's not a. It's not the. It's
This
they're a group of people.
Team Miracle War Police.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you
That was a
go.
pretty big one. Like my
Yeah.
other clue was, yeah, they're puppets.
yeah. I can't think of another film that has puppets.
I'll leave the other.
Yeah.
I'll do one more.
Okay.
I'll leave the other ones out because they're smaller and they might be harder. Should I give you a small one actually? Do you
Yeah,
want for a small one?
yeah. Give me one of the small hard ones. Giggity.
I'll give you GU.
GU or DU?
G, yeah.
I was gonna say Django Unchained, but it's so far.
I almost put that in, to be fair.
GU. How many syllables are in like both words? Like in the title?
2 syllables. 2 syllables.
Like total? So each one's one
Yeah.
syllable, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Gang? Gun?
No.
Get out. No.
No.
GU. GU?
Yeah, GU.
Get under.
No.
Go.
Give you a clue.
Game. Yeah, go on, give me.
G is kind of the opposite of small.
Big. No. Ginormous.
If you were to
Giga
stop
Chad.
being small, no.
Grow up.
Oh.
Get up. Grow.
You
Grown
had, you
ups!
had it. There you go. Hold on, that's probably one of our longer cold opens.
Yeah,
but
that was trickier than I thought.
I don't know if I would have been able to do that well. Anyway, let's roll the thing.
In.
The two damn cousins out, they're watching movies.
Hello there. Welcome back to another episode of Reinventing the Real. Do you know how you know this is a Curtis intro week? Other than the fact it's me doing the intro. You get this silky smooth voice whispering down your ear hole. How you doing? How is everyone this week? I'm sat here with Cameron as always. Cameron, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Long
to
time,
be here.
first time.
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys should know what this is by now. I say this every week as well. We're reinventing the real. We take our favourite movies, TV shows, all of that, throw them in a randomizer, see what we get, and then we just kind of wing it the rest of the way. But this week, This week I wanted to try something slightly different.
Well, episode 30, might I add.
Oh my.
Welcome to the 30s.
Okay, I'm
That's it.
excited. So what I've done is I went to the beach yesterday. You know, it's been nice weather, etc., etc.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what? Let me take my iPad. Let me just sit here and just brainstorm a load of like possible, like beginners for films, and just see how we, like, the two of us can bounce with each other and make a film from it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we were like, you know what? Let's give this a shot. Let's see how it does. And I came up with probably about 5. And they're all like kind of like meh, but there's one that I'm like, I'll bring this to Cameron tomorrow. I'm 90% sure he'll be excited about it because I know he loves this film. Oh, are you ready for this, Cameron?
Yeah, go for it. Hit me.
Okay, I'm not gonna tell you what the film is. I'm just gonna start pitching the beginning of it, like what I've got written down, and then see if you pick up on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, it's a regular day at school, and we see Miss Summer Hathaway just sat there, you know, doing her work, writing her notes, whatever teachers do. You know,
Is this 500 Days of Summer?
it is not 500 Days of Summer.
Okay. Sorry. Carry on.
It's all good. It's all good. So, you know, she's principal. She's doing her job. And you see her like going through like bills and stuff, and you know, like when it's like red notice, pay your bills and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's trying to sort things out, and then she gets a phone call, and she picks it up, and it's like, I don't know, Benjamin Button. That's whatever his name is. Let's just call him that. Let's give him around. It doesn't matter. He won't be back. So he calls, and he's like, hey, you know, it's me from the school board. We have literally no money. You've gone from being one of the most private like schools in the country.
Wait,
to
is
having...
it School of Rock?
It is School of Rock.
Okay.
You've got like no money left. Sort it out. So we're gonna have to cut the funding for the music program.
Damn.
You know, we're gonna. She's like, oh, is there any way we can maybe like raise the money? And they're like, well, I mean, if you want, but how are you gonna get however much money it is in whatever amount of time? You know, that shtick, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, okay. She's like, can I at least go tell the music teacher myself? He's an old friend.
Yeah.
So she like walks down to the class, or she sits there and like, all right, let me go do this. And she walks down the hall, and you can just kind of hear like the music coming from the classroom, and like you can see the teacher like whipping his hair around. He's like, yeah, like doing his thing.
Yeah.
And she knocks on the door, and you just see like the silhouette of like a kind of overweight dude. You just see the back of his head, and he turns around, and he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't see you. How you doing? You know, what do I owe this pleasure? And you know, initially you think it's Jack Black, but it's not. It's Zach. Zach, was that his name? The guitar guy.
Yeah.
It's him. He's like the music teacher of this school now.
Damn.
And she's like, oh, Zach, how you doing? You know, let's go for a drink. And he just like looks at her like knowingly already.
Yeah.
And it like smash cuts to them sat at a bar, and he's like, you know, I thought I had more time. You know, some of these kids have really got a bright future. And she's like, yeah, I know. There's nothing I can do. And it's all just very solemn. And they're at like this kind of dive bar, and then this guy comes up on stage, and he's like, coming up next, we've got Lawrence and the Machine. And it's like the kid who played keyboard in the first film, and like a few, you know, like the backing singers, like the hoo hoo hoo.
Yeah.
It's just him and her, and them like performing on stage, and no one's really paying them any attention. And they look up and they go, "Oh, what the fuck?" And they're like, "What are they doing here?" And then you know, after the show, no one claps except for these two, and then they all sit together and they're all reminiscing about, oh, do you remember when we used to do this and this and this? How are we all living such shit lives now? And like, you know, maybe we should do like one last show. You know, try raise the money to save the music program.
Oh yeah.
etc., etc. So they start like practicing, very very basic shtick. But it's not gelling. It's not the same as when they were kids. There's clashing of ideas and this and that, and they're just not. And they're like, what's going on? I don't understand why we're not thing. Like everything's the same as before, and they go, well, not everything. And they look up, and just at the back of the bar, you just hear him walk in and go, "You damn kids." Dewey Flynn enters the room. He looks like what's his name now? Jack Black. He's got like a big grey beard and disheveled hair, and he's like, I've just come in to say hi to you guys. Wish you all the best. But sorry, just can't run.
Oh.
Who do you think you are coming in here? Half-ass in rock and roll. You don't half-ass rock and roll. You commit everything to rock and roll. You never give up. And like, what about you? Why did you stop playing? He's like, because I lost everything. He goes, sorry, I can't help you more. And he starts to walk out, and he just hears down, 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 and he just freezes in his place.
Oh.
And then what happens?
Damn. Okay.
Sorry, were you unprepared?
Yeah. You were running it pretty well. I just wanted to see what happened next, to be fair. I was enjoying listening to it. Right. So he sees like the music teacher playing it, and he's like, they're trying to pull me back in.
Yeah.
And he's like feeling the music, and it's Jack Black being Jack Black. He gets into it. He's loving it, and he's like, "This is great." Like, you still got the music inside you, all that kind of stuff. And then he's like, "But I still can't help. There's a lot more at stake here than you think." He's like, "Yeah, well, there's a lot more at stake than you think as well. Like, the music program's going to be cut at our school, and like all these kids won't be able to practice music. And, if it wasn't for you teaching me music, I would," and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, "I'm sorry, guys. It's a lot bigger than you think. All right."
Yeah.
And then like there's just some beeping outside or whatever, and he's like, "I've got to go. But good luck though. You can count on me being at the show or whatever." He's like, you need to perform with us though. We won't want you from the crowd." He's like, and he just walks out. There's no telling him. And they're like, well, what are we gonna do? Like, someone needs to bring him round. Is like, they all just like don't realize what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like, we need him. He's the thing that brought us all together and whatnot, and we all that kind of thing. And then like, there's still some people obviously missing from this as well.
Yeah.
From the group, they're like, "Oh well, why don't we try like capture some other things in that?" And they get that guy who's like making all the costumes. They're like, "Yeah, I can like," he does like all like fashion designing and stuff, and like set design still and all that. And he's like, "Yeah, I could do it." And then like they get like they're all friends who are doing the lighting and crap, and they're like big time like ones. They work at like the local place, so they can get them into like an arena quick better and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, it's all coming into place, but we still don't like have our sound and that." And then like they get a phone call from bloody iCarly, Megan, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, what's going on? Like, I heard you're doing another music show." And they're like, "Oh yeah, you should come down." Like, she's like, "Well, I'm a bit busy at the moment, but I'll see if I can make time." And they're like, "What do you mean make time? We're all friends. We all played together back then. I don't know, you were the manager." And she's like, "Well, I'm managing a lot more now than just small time school bands." And she's like, cuts to her, zooms out of her or whatever, because it was just up on her face, and then it's just like you see her office, and she's an actual like music manager now.
Yeah, she's like working
And
like
then
Kanye West and shit like that, and
and
oh.
then Jack Black walks in. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm late," and she's like, "Yeah, sit down." She's like, "All right, I gotta go." And that's what he meant by "there's more at stake."
Yeah,
He's actually like
he's in love with
in
her,
his own.
and they're dating.
Uh,
I'm
well,
joking. That was a joke. I'm joking.
it's more he's like in his own band or whatever now. Like him and I don't know. Let's pull in his mate from Tenacious D.
Yeah,
They're like together. They're not Tenacious D, but they're like a two-man group. They met one time, and
yeah.
they're like, yeah.
Vivacious C.
He's like had his job as like teaching kids, I think, on the after school club or whatever.
Mm.
And then, after that though, like after like that the main class kind of grew up, he wasn't really getting much like people through.
Mm.
And so what happened was he just went to like a bar one time and just like, you know what, I'll just play like my own sort of shows and stuff, like a one-man band sort of thing. And then he met this other guy who's like, you've got talent, like you're really good. And then he's like, oh thanks. Like, well, maybe you should try like teaming up with me. He's like, what? Why would you want that? Like, why would you say that? I don't even know you. He's like, well, just listen to me then. And he's like, plays music really well or whatever. And they're like, oh, they just gelled well, and they're together. So then anyway, back to that, and she's like, right, sit down. And he's like, oh, who knew? Well, after all these years, you'd be doing this. And he's like, oh, look, your music's not been selling well. Like, you've had one good, like, after your first album, it's all been downhill, and you need to like
Step your shit
do
up.
something to like get your name out there more. You know,
Mm.
you were a breakout hit, and you were known as like the teacher. You know, because everybody recognized that. Maybe it was like big in the news or whatever.
Yeah.
Similar to how like the Donny Burger thing, you know, he was like big at like for a while, and then they're like, oh, there's him, and now like nobody remembers him. So he's like, oh, what do you expect me to do? And then she's like, well, I heard the old band's getting back together, like the kids, like,
Yeah.
and all that. And he's like, oh, I couldn't do that. Like, I don't want to use them for my own personal gain and all that. That's just
Oh,
not
okay.
rock and roll.
Yeah.
And then she's like, but this is the perfect opportunity. Like, the School of Rock coming back together. Like, we could market the shit out of that. And he's like, oh, I don't know. Like, that, I feel like they'd be pretty disappointed. And she's like, look, we wouldn't even have to spend that much money on it, all right?
Mm.
We'll we'll just do some advertising for it. You know, help out. I'll say I'm helping out too. And you know, we can blow your band into the stratosphere. That's it. And then he's like, oh well, I'll go down there and I'll speak to them and that, and I'll ask them about it. And then his mate's like sitting with him. He's like, oh dude, this is the best like opportunity. Like, come on, like we have to do this. He's like, oh, I don't know. You know, he's very skeptical about it. He doesn't want to use all the kids to their personal game. Meanwhile, back there with them, they're like still practicing in that, and they're like, we haven't got a sound. Like, what can we do? You know, the main teacher, he's in a rut. You know,
Yeah.
he's like, I felt it when I was a kid. He's kind of lost his passion ish. He's like good at teaching and all that, but
Yeah.
maybe there's other stuff going on with him. And
Wait, you on about his mate who he steals the job from initially? Ned Schneebly?
no, I'm talking about the
Zach.
one from the beginning, Zach.
Yeah. Sorry.
He's like, what? He's just not as like into it as he used to be. Maybe he's still there, but like now with all this stuff on the line, it's kind of like all sort of weighed on him, and he can't do it. And then like they're maybe playing a note or they're playing a bit, and he's like, we need something in there. Like, this just doesn't sound right. And then Jack Black walks in and he's like, maybe if it goes like da 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 da, da whatever. I don't know. I just had to think of something like quick.
Da 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 da. Wow.
And then they're like, oh, that's it. So then he walks in and like, oh, so you guys are like actually going through with this? He's like, yeah. They're like, yeah, we've got like a week to do it, but you know, we haven't got like good songs. We're thinking like playing what we did back in the day and then like making some new stuff. And he's like, oh, so what? This is to like save the music program, innit? It's like, yeah, like, but I feel like I've heard a lot of buzz. Like people are excited for it. You know, they remember us from Battle of the Bands all those years ago, and we're even thinking of getting like that band that was on before them. You know, like in the film. That
Yeah.
yeah. Like yeah, if you could get them to play an opening for us. And he's like, oh well, maybe I could join the opening. He's like, they're like, opening? We don't want you on the opening. We want you to be in the band with us.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, I couldn't do that. They're like, yeah, come on. Like, you don't have to worry. We know you've got like your own music stuff going on, but like, it's like, well, the thing about that is like, come on, do it. Like, he's like, but you know, there's a lot more. As I said, there's a lot more for me here than there is. But they're like, no, it's cool. It's for charity. Don't worry. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay then. I guess so. And then he goes out and he rings the girl. He's like, yeah, I'm in. Like, we'll do it. They're like, oh, she's like, great. Tell them I'm gonna do some advertising for it. Put it out. It's gonna be bigger than they expect. And he's like, you do know this is for charity, right? She's like, of course. You're like, I always value my um talent as the biggest sort of charity. They need what they could get.
Yeah.
I was like, right, sure. You can take it from here now.
Okay. So she's just like, oh, dip. Like, what do I do? Not she, sorry, he. So like, because he's conflicted, because he's like, it's a win-win kind of, because the kids want him there anyway, and he wants to be there, but he still feels like he's using them somehow.
Yeah.
So then maybe there's like them, and they go, so what now? He's like, we get ready, we train, and it's like a really over the top like rock and roll montage.
Yeah.
Of them like rocking hard, and then all grabbing a beer together or whatever, and him like laughing and joking, and oh you are, and you see like his phone keeps ringing, and it says like Diane or something, and he just like flips it or whatever and tries to carry on, like it's nothing. And this is all during the montage, and that until maybe then it cuts to just him and Zach, and they've just both got a guitar, and they're just like going like riff for riff, like back and forth, and they're having a chat about life. And he's like, I don't really know what I'm doing being a teacher. Like, I just want it to be just like you. That's why I try and like emulate your style a bit. And Jack Black's like, you know what, you can't be the best me. You've got to be the best you. Real like.
Yeah.
Yeah, shtick like that. And then you see him go, huh, alright. And then his phone rings again, it's Diane, and he's like, who is that? Who keeps calling you? And he freezes, he goes, it's my ex-wife.
Oh.
No, he goes, it's my ex-wife.
No.
And he's like, why aren't you answering it? He's like, because it's her calling about me signing the divorce papers.
Oh.
And he's like, what happened between you two? And he was like, I just, we blew up so quickly and with the band, and we were always on the road, and then I don't know, like she's, and then he's like, oh, did you cheat? And he's like, no, I'd never do that. He's like, I don't know, I lost myself. Like, even like when the band like really stopped like picking up traction and steam, she was still there. She tried getting through to me, but I shut down. I really threw myself into the music, and I stopped talking to her, and I don't know, I feel like I really messed it up. Just like, I know if I sign it, then it becomes real, then I've got nothing. And Zach goes, "What are you talking about? Like, if you've got us, you always have us."
Damn.
And it like goes into them like playing School of Rock, like we're just all together. Is that Teacher's Pet, whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, School of
yeah.
Rock. That's a different song. Yeah. And it's just them all playing together. So it starts off and it's just like Zach and Thing, and then the drummer, and then they all like come in slow, like they all walk into the room and start playing. I was like, ooh la 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 la, ooh la la, and all that, and they gel, and like Dewey's like that's not his real name. Yeah, that's his real name, right? Dewey Finn.
I think so.
Yeah, because he pretends to be Ned Schneebly or whatever. So he's just like balling by the end, and they all like come round and hug him, and it's real emotional. And he calls Miranda Cosgrove, and he's like, "Hey, I don't really forget about the money. I don't care. Blah 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 blah. Potato, all that kind of stuff."
Right.
And then he comes forward and he tells the kids, he's like, "Hey, I didn't know how to tell you this, but she wanted to market this as like as a big reunion tour and blah 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 blah." And then they all get really pissed off at him because they're like, "You idiot!" They're like, "We don't care about like if you were exploiting us. We were trying to get money to save a music program."
Yeah.
He's like, "Why didn't you just give that money to the music program? You've wasted it. What like you know like?" And he's like, "But I did the right thing." And they're like, "The right thing would have been helping the kids. The right thing would have been helping us." And they all walk out, and he's like, "But I did the right thing." And like it's just left with him, stood in the center of a room as everyone walks out. So like he's center frame, and like as everyone walks out, like the camera like pulls further and further out until it's just him and a single spotlight over him. And then like the spotlight goes out, and it like cuts to black.
Oh.
And then it comes back, and then it's like a different scene now. So I had that was very, very clear in my head. Then. And then then it's all black, and it like pulls back a little bit more, and you see it's a front door, and you can just hear like knocking on the door, but it's not normal knocking. It's like and like you see a woman come up to the door, and she opens it, and she's like, "Only you would knock on my door like that." And it's Dewey at the front door. He's like, "Can we talk, please? I haven't got anyone else to talk to." And it's his ex-wife.
Yeah.
And they sit down together and they talk about everything. And he's like, I'm really sorry I wasn't there. She's like, "You're not a bad person, Dewey. You just like your heart's in the right place. You can't you get in your own way a lot of the time. Like the happiest I ever saw you was when you were with those kids. Playing your music, because that's what it's always been about. At the end of the day, for you, it's just the music." And it's like a really like touching scene between like ex-wife and thing, and he's like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
And he goes in for a kiss, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, no,
Oh.
no." Okay, so I'm just gonna.
Oh.
Okay, bye. And then it's like a really awkward like ending to this emotional crescendo.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I've got to get to the show. And he's looking around, and like there are no taxis available, or whatever. So he grabs like the bike that's in like the neighbor's front garden. It's like a children's one. He's riding it as quick as he can. And you see all the kids like doing their sound check and that. Well, they're not kids now; they're in their 30s, and they were doing their sound check and that. And they look over and see his guitar just sat there, and they're like. The other band, so like the music's playing as the other band like warming up, and it's like smash cuts between that and like him bobbing and weaving through traffic, and then just as they finish playing, he gets there and he's like, and then realizes he's at the wrong building, and he's like, ah, and gets back on the bike, and then it will smash cut. There's not another montage, and then it will smash cut to them like on stage getting ready to play, and he just like kicks the door open, and he's at the, so it's like an auditorium, so he's like right at the top, like where you'd enter, and he just goes, stop, and everyone like looks up, and like the light goes around to him. And it's him doing this like big heartfelt apology as he's walking down the steps. And he gets right up to the front and he's like, will you forgive me? And they're all just like scowling at him. And then it just melts away. Like their scowls. And you just hear the start playing. And he beams. And like as they're warming up, like not like building up to the beginning, he's just struggling to like get onto the stage, he's, like rolling around and shit.
Yeah.
Baby, we were making straight A's, or whatever. Is that the words?
Yeah. It is.
And like then the song goes on, and Miranda Cosgrove's in the audience, and she's just like, she's clapping along. You see her smiling with her trouty mouth, and she's like. And everyone goes crazy. They're like, I love you, School of Rock. And he like, one of them throws their bra at the drummer. Jeez. And he's like, whoa, you know. And then like they like jump in the air and freeze frame. Shit, actually.
I had an idea actually.
Oh, yeah, sorry, go off.
Maybe they didn't freeze frame, it just ended.
They didn't
like, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, everybody's loving them. They go in and it'll bring the house down. And then the teacher, or Zach, he's like, goes up. He's like, thank you very much, everyone. Tonight, you know, we're not doing this for anything. We're doing this because we need to help her. And then like, Miranda Cosgrove comes on stage. She's all like, thank you, Zach. Oh my god, School of Rock, everyone, and everybody goes crazy again. He's like, what the hell? And then Jack Black just looks at her. He's like, oh god, what's she gonna do? Yeah. He's like, wow. You know, I used to manage these guys back when I was like 7 years old. A child. Yeah. And now look at me. I'm managing all the greatest bands in the world, and everyone's like, oh god damn it.
To be fair, that's kind of crazy. Like, she was a child.
Yeah.
I know they're all children, but she was a child.
But she's like, yeah. So tonight they all came together and they all proved that they're still like, they've still got it. After all these years, they could still win another battle of the bands.
Yeah, boy.
And it's this kind of like beautiful like teaching of music that came from our own Dewey Flynn all those years ago that made us like who we are today.
Yeah.
And like he just smiles, and she's like, which is why we can't let this school's music program
die.
Yeah, which is why we'll be donating like the exact amount of money, maybe even more.
Yeah.
For like the music program, and all like the kids just go crazy, the crowd goes crazy, and then like she looks at Dewey, he looks at her, and they're like, nice. And then they're like, she's like, all right guys, one more time, and then they play it again, and that's when it like kind of fades out. But they're all like, they all finish, maybe like they're all cleaning up or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Zach and Dewey go together, and they're like, oh, how was that hard? That's crazy. Like, yeah, we did it. We got enough for the school and everything. It's incredible. Like, and Dewey's like, I want to give you something. He's like, what? What are you talking about? It's like, he hands him his guitar from like this all those years ago. He's like, I'm done with music, man. But you can carry on my legacy. I know it. You're a better man than I've ever been. You know, you're gonna do an amazing job of like teaching all these kids. And he's like, I know I'll never be like you. It's like you've done better. Look
Yeah.
at you've done all of this just to sit like me all those years ago. I was using you guys to win, and I even did it again now. You always stuck to the music. You always like believed in something better. It gave you an amazing life and an amazing gift, and I want you to share that with everyone else. So here, take this, never let it go, because music's all we have. It's like, and he's like just walks out. He's just like, Dewey. Looks back. Like, rock on. And he just smiles. Shuts the door behind him. Cuts the black.
Okay, that was way better. That was way better. Wait, that is the ending, right?
Yeah?
Okay.
Unless you've got anything to add, yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, no, I like that. Because, like, where I ended it, I was like, no, this is shit. And then I wanted to do, like, the, like, the, yes, I'm hopeful, yes, I am hopeful for today.
Yeah.
Like, this person's now doing this. And I was like, I don't know. But then you came in and you were like, yeah, no, this. And I was like,
Yeah. As soon as, like you said, he was going back and stuff, he called her, he's like, nah, it's off. I've always thought in my head, like, I want her to just turn up and just be like, yeah, we're donating all the money to it.
yeah.
And in that little bit at the end, I just came out of nowhere because I just didn't want it to end on like the music.
Because the music never dies, man.
Yeah,
Music never dies.
yeah. If this was like written and stuff, I definitely want more with Zach and Dewey because like
Yeah.
a sort of like Jedi master and Padawan type
kinda,
thing, you know? Yeah, that kind of relationship between them, and they're like, and it really shows more on the film, and then that last little bit would like hit home even more. And it's like you don't know about Dewey's like past stuff, he's got that to all deal with, but you'd like to think it makes it better, but you never know. And they're all like well off.
I also like how
It is what it is.
relatively, well, not low stakes, but like at the end of the day, like the kids going to this school are still at like a private academy,
Yeah,
so it's still like one of the best schools in the
yeah.
thing.
It's just like they don't even need the music thing. It hasn't really added much to the whole,
yeah,
thing, but
but it's music.
it is.
Music, man. It's in my soul. I can hear it.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Every day, every night. It's one thing on my mind.
Music's got control. Is it in my soul or got control? In my soul? Music's in my soul. No, it's control because soul's the first one, right?
Yeah, I think.
Music's in my soul. I can hear it every day and every night.
Yeah.
Woo! I still think that song should have ended with like the Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, just before we end the podcast,
Oh yeah.
you saw all this stuff with Drake Bell, right?
Oh yeah.
Have we spoken about this outside of the podcast, right?
I think so. I know I've seen it.
Oh,
Crazy.
damn. For anyone who doesn't know, go look it up, because yeah, we don't want to get demonetized before we even get monetized. So
Anyway, that was School of Rock.
that was
A cool one. Welcome to the 30s.
oh my god, we're in our 30s, man.
Yeah.
Gee,
Here it goes.
damn.
It's only up from here.
Yeah, this was a new format. I don't know if we'll do more. Let us know, like if you liked how this one ran, or if you want more of our classic randomizer ones. And yeah, I've been Curtis.
And I've been Cameron.
See you next week, man.
See you next week.